is the hope to continue just building out additional sort of application level controls and really just taking that end to end, or are there other pieces as well you'd want to invest in?
Yeah, so we today have a very broad set of guardrails. If you look at the OWASP top 10 for LLM threats, there's 10 items on there. We solve 8 of them today, right? So we'll continue to go deeper and deeper into that. The one thing that everyone's focused on right now is agents, right? So how do you secure agents moving forward? That provides basically a whole new attack surface because agents are leveraging large language models to make decisions and actually produce a set of tools that need to be executed and a chain of thought that needs to be executed with the planning that they do, right, to be able to successfully produce an outcome. So along with that, you all of a sudden introduce many new attack vectors because each step of that reasoning and execution of tools can introduce potential vulnerabilities, right? Everything from, if someone leverages prompt injection or indirect prompt injection, which is when the user is not interfacing with the prompt, but data that's coming back from a data source is ingested, you could actually manipulate the model to run tools in a different way, right? Or to subvert the chain of thought in a certain way by manipulating the text or the output that's coming back from tools. So there's many very interesting nuances here. And I think we're still really early in both building secure agents and also solving the agent security problem. So we're heavily focused on that. We're primarily today, if you break it down into 5 things, the prompt injection attack is one main focus. The second after that is confidential information and PII, right? If you're building an enterprise application, you want to make sure that either users or data doesn't contain confidential information and PII. So we have rules to detect 50 different types of confidential information. And then you have malicious code, right? That could be introduced, whether it's malicious URLs or domain names or IP addresses that you could be pulling in that you need to filter out. And then in enterprise use cases, you really need to focus on the language that is either being input by a user or output by the LLM. Because if you think about it, these large language models have been trained on the entirety of human knowledge on the internet, which contains a lot of good information, but also a lot of crappy information, right? That's not good. And you don't want your healthcare website emitting profane language or toxic language or self-harm language, right? Which these models inherently know about. So there's a lot of considerations, especially as you're embedding these models into enterprise applications that, a lot of people are still very early in solving.